Today we are going to rebuild in 5 years Wolfsburg, who are one-time Bundesliga winners, one-time DFB Pokal winners.
One-time Super Cup winners as well.
Indeed, in the same year that they won the cup.
2014-2015 season was a good season for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Beat Bayern Munich in the Super Cup.
Yeah. You could say it was a bad season for them as well, though, really, because that's when Kevin De Bruyne left them after that.
It was, yeah. But he made his first move. Or was it the second move? No, it was the second move, wasn't it?
He went to Man City from there.
Yeah, only because he went to Chelsea before, and then he moved back to Germany, rekindled his career
great
at
success
Wolfsburg.
there.
Yeah, fair play. He played amazing that season as well. His statistics were unbelievable.
I can remember you actually talking about Wolfsburg then, and it brought him to my attention then, and then he was a player that stood out, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was no surprise Man City went from him in kind of a minute.
They actually got quite a few iconic players actually, because I remember Edin Dzeko was very good for them. I think when they won the Bundesliga.
They did. They won it in 2008 with him.
2008, 2009.
Yeah. And it was the first season that two players in one team scored more than 20 goals that season.
It was Brazilian, and he was called Graffiti.
Yes, right, yeah. But Dzeko, he is actually Wolfsburg's leading goal scorer.
Yeah, still.
With 66 goals.
That's mental, because I think only like a season or two after he was gone.
Yeah, he was,
He went to Manchester City.
And the Brazilian chap, he's second, he got 59 goals.
Yeah.
So they a couple of good seasons together, didn't they?
Absolutely, yeah, they were deadly that year.
Yeah.
And obviously won the Bundesliga for Wolfsburg. Now, that might be a bit too much of a tricky task to do in just 5 years, with how good Bayern Munich are in Football Manager and how much money they seem to get. But I have made some signings in this summer, so let's take a look. We were given a little bit of money, and of course they have made some transfers already, including Matthias Svanberg, which I think is a good signing for them, bringing him in from Bologna at 7.75 million. Now, I brought in Fabrizio Diaz from Liverpool FC in Uruguay.
Ooh.
Not Liverpool that we know and love. So this guy's a bit of a wonder kid. He was a wonder kid on last year's game as well. Good player. A bit of a box-to-box midfielder. He can kind of do every single role in there, but he's not amazing at anything, but he's also not weak at anything.
Yeah.
So I think he's a good sign to make. Yeah. Only 19 as well, so he's gonna grow into a player. You can see that he's got a good potential on the game. We brought him in for £2.5 million. So if you ask me, it's not even a gamble, is it? That's nothing.
Not. And he scored one goal. Already.
And he scored one goal already. We already know we could probably make a profit on him if we never play him another game in his life. So I think that's a good signing to bring him in straight away. We can see that his value is already around about £15 million, and his wages aren't that much either. No. So the good thing about the Bundesliga is they don't punish you bringing in foreign imports such as South American players. You can bring in these cheap South American players, they won't punish you. The rules in there are so much better, considering we went from the Italian league last week, which was a nightmare, and we couldn't register a player who was from Brazil. This time round is so much easier. So he is the one and only signing that I have made, including the Wolfsburg signings that have already come in. So let's take a look tactically then. I've gone for an attacking 4-2-3-1. 4-3-3, sorry, but I've based it off a tactic that I was using for 4-2-3-1. So it's very good in the fact that we have wingers on attack, an advanced forward on attack, and a centre midfielder on attack, and we've got our man Diaz there playing the box-to-box midfielder role. If we take a look at the pick without restriction, the best 11, it gives us this. So it's slightly different there in the player that we were using. We are going to use Diaz in that role, but we've got Arnold here. He's a bit of a set-piece wizard. He's got good crossing, or good corners, sorry, good free kicks and good long shots. Hopefully we can pick up a few assists with him. Svanberg, our new signing there. Nemecha is a Manchester City former player, I believe, come through their youth academy. He did. We signed him for £11 million last season, scored 8 already last season, but he scored 5 this season in 4 games. And an assist as well. So I think his brother's here too. I'm pretty sure we have his brother in the team who's out on loan maybe, or he's in the youth academy. Felix, there he is. Felix and Mecha. So they must be brothers. There's no way that they're not. It is brothers, yeah. And they've got another one who's a former teammate who's his favourite person now as well, but that's fine. So he's joined his brother in the team. We've got a good lineup. Baku is another really good player, although I do find a bug with Baku, and I'll let you know when that happens. We have good defender in Lacroix, somebody we signed in a previous rebuild, bringing him in, so that's decent that we already have him at the club. So I think this is a good tactic to start off with and see where we lay in the world of the Bundesliga with just that one signing and just this tactic. Schedule-wise then, we started off and we've played 4 games so far, and it started off badly in a 3-1 loss to Werder Bremen. We won the cup round, but I always think like the DFB Pokal first round, it's great because it's before the Bundesliga. So if you're in the Bundesliga, you got kind of like a warm-up, which actually means something.
Yeah.
I like that, but it's always against a club I've never heard of, and it's almost like just a run out. But we won 7-0 anyway. But then we lost the Bundesliga match.
Yeah, but the second game's a hell of a result.
But the second game, Fabrizio Diaz, our new signing, that was the goal he scored. 1-0 win.
Away from home as well. What a result that is.
Oh, yeah. Then we defeated Schalke, who probably are favourites to go down, to be fair. They've got terrible finances. 4-0, and Mecha got himself a hat-trick there. Then he also picked up one in a 2-1 win against Leipzig. So we beat the 2 best teams in the league.
Say, away from home as well.
Away from home. Oh, God, yeah, I didn't even realise that. Both of them are away from home. So Dortmund, I'd say, on this, need a season or 2 to catch up with Bayern and Leipzig because they have just lost Haaland and they haven't really got... Adeyemi's not quite there yet, and neither is Moukoko, so they haven't got the strike force that Leipzig have and Bayern Munich have, even though they have lost Lewandowski. They've still got like Mane and everybody like that. So I think Dortmund are probably the 3rd best team.
Can you remember that famous match against Wolfsburg?
Is that the one where he came on and scored 5?
Scored 5 goals in 9 minutes.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, isn't it? The guy's just a machine, isn't he?
Oh, he's good player.
Yeah, what was the final score? Do you remember what the final score was? Whether it like meant something into the game?
No, I don't. Because I just read that bit there and I thought, well, that's a good fact to take in. Because I just wrote it down.
I remember it happening.
Yeah, and I sort of thought, I didn't look at what the final score was.
But there we go. Okay,
so there's a question for the viewers there. What was the final score?
Let us know. What's the final score? Did it mean something? Yeah. Did he come on when they were like 3-1 down and Wolfsburg think, oh, ideal? Okay, so we don't have any European football because, of course, Wolfsburg 2 seasons ago finished in the Champions League spots. They played Champions League football last year, didn't qualify for Europe this year at all. Didn't finish in the top 6.
Bad season, didn't they?
Bad season. That's why they're getting a rebuild today. But Hertha Berlin are top. Now, they're also favoured to go down. So the league's kind of got all over the place at the minute with Berlin at the top there, Bochum at the top, Mainz at the top, teams that you usually find down the bottom, but that's why I love the Bundesliga. So, we'll simulate the first season, see how we get on. First season, 3rd place, Champions League football. We've got it again.
I'll take that.
Absolutely.
I'm a bit disappointed because we started off so well. But I'll take 3rd, yeah.
I don't think you've seen what I've seen yet.
I have seen it now. We were top of the league most of the season.
No, not that. Because we weren't. We were 2nd or 3rd.
Lost 2 games. Is that
but no, you still haven't noticed it. I can't believe it. Look who won the league and then who came 2nd. Leipzig, then Borussia Dortmund.
Right.
We came 3rd. Where the fuck's Bayern Munich?
5th position.
5th place.
Bloody hell.
5th place. Europa League football for Bayern Munich.
They won't like that.
No, after the domination that they've had. One downside to this season is that my team Eintracht Frankfurt have to play in a playoff to survive. So let's hope they do. Fingers crossed, everybody. But yeah, what a season for us. Hertha Berlin have had an amazing season as well. We're only just behind Borussia Dortmund 6 points there, but we are comfortably above Mainz in 6th there. But we scraped that Champions League spot. Bayern Munich, very unlucky. They drew a couple of games which cost them against Werder Bremen against Freiburg.
We lost a couple of games as well, though. So.
We did lose a couple of games as well, so we almost threw it away. One was against Dortmund and Hertha Berlin, so the 2 teams around us. Yeah. But yeah, that is a shocking season, a very surprising season. I bet it was a fun one to watch.
Oh, yeah.
So Frankfurt's going up against Dusseldorf. They should beat them, surely. Karim Adeyemi, the youngster, got the top goal scorer, and Mecha got himself 20 across the season. Timo Werner coming back, getting 22. We had the most yellow cards by a mile. We got so many yellows, it was unbelievable. That's Diaz, obviously, we played box to box, and our 2 fullbacks there, Otavio and Riddle Baku. How do we do in the DFB Pokal, though? My favourite competition, my favourite trophy. I really want to get my hands on one. Knocked out the 3rd round by Leipzig, who were obviously champions, and probably went on and won it.
Yeah.
No, they're against it's Bayern versus Bayern in the final. We haven't got there yet, which I think because it's the World Cup year, I always simulate to the 1st of June. And if we're out of something, then I just save it. But that, because of the World Cup, it's on later as well as the Champions League as well. But we're not in the Champions League, so we don't care. Now, let's take a look at the squad. Who scored what? We had Emecha get 23, but that Other than that,
that is awful.
that's the lowest I think we've ever had.
That is awful.
Consider
we were lucky when we finished.
How did we finish the Champions League spots? Unbelievable, really. He is unhappy as well. He wants to move to a club with a stronger squad. Well, he's been carrying them all season. I'm not surprised. Fair enough. Okay. What about assist-wise then? Well, that's not going to be a lot either. He also got the most assists, so he really
was
did
he assisting
carry
himself
it.
then,
He basically was. He was just shooting it off the post, chipping it up, heading it in. Now, we can see the bug I was on about now. Riddle Baku. Do you remember at the start of the season, he started off around about £8 million?
Yeah.
He still has 2 years left on his contract. He played as many games as possible and got a decent average rating, 29 games that he played. 3 DFB Pokals, and his value has sunk down to £3 million maximum.
That's not right, is it?
It's not indeed, and it means that clubs are coming in for him because they think they can pick up a bargain, like Hertha Berlin here. And I've seen him go for like other teams for like 30-40 million. So when I thought about taking over Wolfsburg, I thought, well, I've got Riddle Baku, who, if I'm needing money, will be one of those players. Yeah. No, you're wrong, Luke, because his value's plummeted, and I have actually reported it to SI, and I think they're looking into it. So if you see bugs like that, make sure you put it on the forums, because it will just make the game better. There is also another point where I won't find it because I don't remember when it is, but Ivan Toney has a 3-year contract left at 29 years of age, so whenever that is, and I found him, and he was £1.3 million. And they were in the Premier League still. And he's scoring goals.
You got to buy it, ain't you?
Yeah. So I thought that's another error. Okay, let's go to the second season. Before we do, though, we got £57 million to spend.
That's good in this league.
Happy with that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look. Starting off then, we got a free transfer, and it's Moussa Dembele. Obviously, do you remember when he played for Celtic? Scored quite a lot of goals in that league. He then went to Lyon, and he's been scoring quite a lot there since. Had a little move to Atletico Madrid, didn't really score or play there. Came back and got 21 goals last season for Lyon. Very good. Last season, he got himself 15 goals in 29 games, so a goal every other game, just underneath that.
Not bad.
We got him on a free transfer. Out of contract, free transfer. He's got a goal and assist so far and a very high average rating. Yeah, great signing. Great signing. And he's still, it feels like he's been around for ages. He's still only 27, but he just feels like he's been around for so long. So I remember when he come through. Yeah, I remember when he come through for Fulham.
Yeah.
From PSG's youth academy. So he's a great player. To bring him in on a free, great caliber of player. £58,000 is a lot of wages, but still we'll take that. Now we have also signed another German youngster, and that's one of the things that the Wolfsburg board want you to do: sign players under the age of a certain age and sign German players. 21, Kevin Shade from Freiburg. He doesn't have the best mental attributes, but he is only 21, like I said. Great physical and pace though. For acceleration and pace is phenomenal. He plays on both wings or up front. £16 million for a squad player. I think that's really good.
He scored a goal already as well.
And got himself man of the match, a 7.4 average rating in 2 games. Is phenomenal. Yeah, so far so good. We have next Eric Martel. Now this was another one of those young German players that I decided to go for. CDM, he can play very well in that kind of role. As again, one of those players who's not amazing at one thing, but he's quite good at everything. But what I like most about him is he has like good defensive positioning, which for a CDM I think is really important. But also great determination. So if we go down, he's determined to bring us back. And I like that in our CDM because that's the engine room, isn't it, at the end of the day? Yeah. So good signing, Eric Martel. Bringing him in for £11.5 million. I mean, Cologne got themselves a bit of a profit there after only picking him up for £1 million, but he did play 31 games last season. Their value of their players are going up, ours is going down. So we'll take it anyway. But this is probably my favourite signing, and it was the most money as well, up to £26 million. We needed a good left back, and Vindal is that good left back for the rest of the rebuild. And of course, you Patreon members, you'll benefit from that because we're signing players here who are going to be the perfect age when you take over after 5 years. So the link's going to be down below in the description, but patreon.com/MegLukeGaming. On the £5 tier, you get the save game file after the rebuild is finished, and you can carry on and try and attempt what Dad's going to challenge you. So Ajax signed him last season in real life, £8.5 million, after losing Tagliafico, their left back, and we signed him for £23 million. So it was another profit for the club, but we needed a good left back. he is that good left back. Tactically then, we go exactly with what we had last season because we got Champions League football. And this time around, we're only going to play Martel in that ball-winning midfielder role. I want to try and make sure we give him some game time, give him that opportunity to become a better player. He has apparently a good potential. I don't actually know it off the top of my head. He's not one of the players that I've kind of memorized from looking at doing like Wonder Kid videos or anything. Still, he looks decent anyway. We can play him as much as possible. If we were to go on and pick restriction, our best 11, he isn't in there. It is Diaz, but you can kind of see the rest of the lineup here. Vindal comes in. Nemecha stays up front instead of Dembele.
Yeah.
But I didn't go for a two-striker formation, and Nemecha played very well last year, so I understand that completely. Dembele is going to come off and try and win his position, and Shea comes in on that right-hand side on that winger on attack role. Okay, schedule-wise then, how have we done so far? Well, we won our standard 4-0 DFB Pokal, which we probably won't lose one of them because I very much doubt, But then we beat the new club coming up. Is it Karlsruhe? It is. Try recognising the badge. 2-1. Moose Dembele scored on his debut there, and Mecha got the second from a penalty. Then we beat Freiburg, who are a very tricky team. I think in real life at the minute, they're currently sat in second. So that's not bad at all, considering they're going to go into the Christmas break or the World Cup break. Sat in second place. 3-0 we beat them. Nemecha, Shade, and Marmouche, who also got the goal. So even though we're at home, the Wolfsburg Volkswagen Arena, then that is a 3-0 victory that we'll definitely take. Now, Champions League. The last year of the group stages, of course, before we go into our very famous new way of playing the Champions League. But we have a very hard group. That's
Europa League.
I think we might struggle for that with Benfica in there.
Yeah.
But Inter Milan, really good team. PSG,
amazing team.
Yeah. So that's going to be really difficult.
So, Wolfsburg.
Yes.
Who formed them?
I have no idea.
No? God, yeah, you do.
Volkswagen.
Yeah, of course it was. They actually formed from, there was a when they were, Volkswagen started up a multi-sports club.
Yeah.
And the football team came out of that.
Okay.
The actual Wolfsburg town was built solely to house
the factory
workers.
I've heard that story before.
Yeah, and the factory was built to build the Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, really?
So that's where the Beetles come from, really. And but when the team was formed in that properly, they had a coach there who had 10 green shirts. That was all he had.
Yeah.
No other part of the kit.
Yeah.
So they asked anybody if they had any shorts and things like that, and no one had any shorts they could donate to the team. But the locals donated white sheets. So they got the white sheets changed into shorts, and the locals made them into shorts and that's where the white shorts come from as well.
And the keeper went skinless.
Yeah.
I'll go skins, lads.
So they've always been green.
Yeah.
And and that's why they're sponsored by Volkswagen as well. Because obviously it's the Volkswagen team, really.
I wonder whether that's just like a foregone conclusion that's forever going to be the sponsor.
You would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't go anywhere else, would you? Really?
No.
As long as the money's there for them, they're happy with the money, they'll take it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Because obviously with the German, the rules with the 51, whatever it is, 49 plus 1, whatever it is in regards to the ownership, whether it stays in the hands of Volkswagen and stuff like that. I don't really know. I'm just guessing. But yeah, you'd probably imagine it would be that club and that sponsor for good.
Yeah. Until,
something drastic happens, they fold, or Volkswagen folds, which is probably very unlikely, to be fair.
Well, they only got into the top league, the Bundesliga, in 1998. So they're
fairly new.
Still a new team, really.
And within 10 years, they won the bloody league.
Yeah. Good, though, really, isn't it?
Fantastic stuff. Okay, so let's see how we do in the Champions League, and we started off quite well in the league, of course. Us and Frankfurt, who survived. Thank you very much for crossing your fingers.
To go to top of the league.
Yeah, imagine that. They now win the league. Incredible. Let's see how we get on in the second season. Okay, unfortunately, we have dropped out of the top 4.
That is bad, isn't it?
Yeah. At least we're still in some kind of European football. We've got the Conference League qualification stages. We're 4 points off Europa League there, but 8 points off Champions League spots. Bayer Leverkusen popped up there, and so have Bayern Munich come out of nowhere. Stuttgart got themselves relegated with Karlsruhe down there. It looks like Bochum survived the playoffs. Eintracht Frankfurt finish in 9th. Well done, Eagles. They've managed to survive. What about goal scorers? Adeyemi, yet again, getting 30 goals this season. Phenomenal. Two very good seasons, but none of our boys are in there at all. We didn't even pick up any yellow cards. Shocking.
Discipline's got better, but we were working in the league.
No, I want them to kick the crap out of the rest of the league. All right, fair enough. What about other companies? Is it because we were too busy focusing on winning the Champions League instead?
We won it. Come on.
Well, I am a tactical genius, so it won't surprise me. And no, round of 16 though by Liverpool.
Hey, we qualified then.
We went through the group.
That's good then.
Hello. Okay, quarterfinals of the DFB Pokal against Hamburg. That's bad. But we'll focus on this instead. So that's very good. We beat Liverpool. We are second in the group. They absolutely knobbed us 5-0. We won't focus on that too much. But let's take a look at the group then. Because, us and second. PSG. We came second. We 1-2, lost it. We beat Inter Milan twice. That's mental.
Win your home games, mate.
Exactly. And drew against Benfica twice and lost against PSG twice. God, we were the most, predictable club ever there, weren't we? How did it finish? Who actually won the final? At Wembley as well. Real Madrid beat Man United. Oh, that's difficult to take for me. Who won it the season before as well, so they won 3 on the trot. As if they haven't got enough. That's annoying, isn't it?
It's just that, we was talking about this in another video when we were saying that all the other teams that we class ours as great leagues, and we got the greatest players playing in our league and all that.
Yeah.
Real Madrid come through every year, pep us at that thing in final time.
They do, you're right. They just seem to be, even if they don't look like they've got a great team or they're not playing very well, they just pull a result out, don't they?
Yeah.
Like the one against Man City.
Yeah.
Really phenomenal stuff from Carlo Ancelotti. Let's take a look at the squad then. Who have we got more than one goal scorer? We have Dembele got the most goals this season, 22. So he seemed to gain his first team spot in the club.
But then he let
in the Mecha.
We lost 10 goals off him.
Yeah, it kind of took 10 goals off of him because he didn't play as many games at all. He only started 26 and scored 10. Assist-wise, though, Kevin Shea from that right-hand side, so we brought him in, obviously. He got himself 6 goals and 10 assists, a good average rating as well. He wasn't the highest. That came from actually he was, because that guy doesn't restart many games. So he was the highest average rating, but that is not a very high average rating as a standard there. Just a 7. That's not good at all. So how much money have we got? We've got £91 million. Ooh. There's a lot of money in the Bundesliga, Dad. Volkswagen, they must be selling some new cars. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so and we're
electric ones probably. That's what it is.
Probably. We're selling Felix. Felix is going to leave, so his brother's leaving. He's gutted. He's fuming. He wants to leave now. Right, let's see. 3rd season. Let's see who we bring in. Okay, we also sold a grand total of £15 million on the outs there, with a fair few amount of squad players leaving the club, and we brought in 3 players totaling up to 87 million, and I'm actually really surprised that some of these players wanted to join us, considering we're not in the Champions League anymore. We still managed to attract some Champions League worthy players, starting off with Todibo, who has been playing really well in real life, and it meant that in Football Manager his ranking's gone up quite a bit. Now that he is at Nice, £28 million is what we spent, because he's had 2 really good seasons there for Nice, getting a highest average rating than what we had throughout our whole club last year.
He averages 1 goal a season, and he's already got 1 for us. That's a good start.
Great sign. Great sign. If we can pick up a couple of those assists as well, John Clare even, that would be fantastic. And he's still young. I need to remember that he's still young. He's only 24, because he's been around, it feels like, for ages, because I remember him in FM 17 when he was at Toulouse.
Yeah.
And then when he made the move to Barcelona, we're like, another wonder kid gone that we can't sign, and he turned out to be crap for them, and it was just like, oh god, his career's gone down the pan. But he eventually moved to Nice and played some really good football, and he's doing well now in real life, so I'm pleased with that. But this is kind of like the guy that everybody's been talking about recently in real life, on Football Manager, sorry. 23-year-old Manu Kone, obviously he'd be 21 at the start of the game, but he develops incredibly well, and he's in the Bundesliga already. I always find there's so many really talented French players in the Bundesliga. There's a lot at Leipzig, there's a few at Gladbach as well, and I signed 2 of them right there. So Kone is another one. He is coming from Gladbach, another player from the Toulouse Academy there, so they might have been friends. £36 million. It's a lot of money, but he is exactly what we need in that CDM role.
Yeah,
I know we signed that centre defensive midfielder from the German one, but when Manu Kone says he wants to sign, I couldn't really turn that down. He's just a bit of a step above, and I want to get us back into the Champions League spots, so we signed him. Finally, now, I'll explain this signing a little bit more in a second, but we have Mohamed Kudus from Ajax, who's been doing really well in real life as well. Fantastic player on the game, only 24 years of age, Ghanaian international, £24 million. He had a very good season in the first year. 15 goals in 29 games. We then, actually that was last season, sorry, because then he has already played 5 games for Ajax this season, and we signed him on the very last day of the transfer window, and he's got 3 goals in 5 games, and we only paid £24 million. I think that's a steal.
Yeah.
I really do. I think that's a steal. He came through the Right to Dream Academy, which is why I like him, and then went to Norgeland, who have this affiliation with Ghanaian football and the Right to Dream Academy. I think it's fantastic. Always little Omega Luke tip here, load through Denmark so you can raid Norgeland, because they just have the best players and they're like £2 to £5 million.
Yeah.
You just pick up so many great players like Diamonde, like what Kudus used to be. So that's a nice little tip there for you. Now, those 3 signings mean that I wanted to change some things tactically. So I've gone, originally, I went for a Brazilian box, and I called it the Brazilian box to trial it out throughout the preseason. It didn't work out quite as well as what I thought it would, so I've gone back to my trusted FM22 tactic of the diamond, but still with the Brazilian box layout that I had previous. So the Brazilian box, that is the 2 defensive midfielders and 2 centre midfielders, but like no wingers.
All right.
I wanted to try it. I've seen other people trying it, and it just didn't really work. We can see where it didn't work here, because we started playing some games in the Europa Conference League, and it was working fine against Panathinaikos. Quite a few Greek people have been asking us to do Panathinaikos, but then there's also a few people who've been asking us to do Olympiacos, and I don't know which one I want to piss off. So I think Olympiacos are doing really well at the minute, so it might be Panathinaikos. Greuther Fürth, they've just been promoted, and we lost 2-0. That's not a good start. Then we drew 0-0 to Werder Bremen. We did have a player sent off, but still. Then we lost to Borussia Mönchengladbach despite taking their best player. So we've yet to pick up. Oh, we did actually pick up a win in the Bundesliga when we beat Hamburg through Jean-Claire Todibo's strike, and that was, were we playing the diamond there? Yes. So you can see here, I actually changed it from one formation to the other, and we played the diamond in the last 33 minutes, and we did all right.
Yeah.
So we're on track again. We beat this team, and I've never heard of them, by the way. 8-0 and 3-0. They are a Ukrainian team. Fair enough. I've never heard of them before, but they're in the UEFA Conference League.
Let's hope they're still going.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
let's hope they get up and go in again.
Yeah,
so.
for sure.
Yeah.
Now, the Conference League, it's gone obviously to the new format, so there's no point really looking at that. There's no group stage, but we can see the teams that we're going to play here. A few of them we might have heard of, a few of them we probably haven't. Astana I definitely have. SV Ried I think I have, I just can't remember where they're from. Lausanne is the Swiss team, who the owner is the guy who wanted to buy Man United.
All right.
Yeah, and who also owns Nice, actually, funny enough. Legia Warszawa, there's been a few people who've been mentioning Legia Warszawa as well, because they've had a bit of a dip recently. And then AEK Larkanas, who I think is Cypriot. Yeah. So, those are the teams we should be going through as the top 8 there. Absolutely. Okay, let's simulate this third season, see how we get on. Third season, and we're back in those Champions League spots.
I'll take that.
We were almost finishing second as well until the very last game of the season, when FC Bayern Munich overtook us there. We did overtake them in the game before that, but they beat Mainz, whereas we drew our game to... I don't actually know. What game did we draw? It doesn't even say. Never mind. We did draw a game though, and it meant that Bayern Munich finished above us. Now Leipzig finished just below us. 10 points clear of Leipzig though. So that is a very high tally for a team like Wolfsburg.
When you come beyond those two teams, that's where you expect to be, really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. What I do think is funny is Schalke has qualified for the UEFA Europa League, as well as having to play the playoff. So they've obviously won the cup, or they finished second in the cup to somebody who has already qualified for Europe. So we'll take a look at that in a sec. The profile, Adeyemi got the most goals again. Amecha's got the highest average rating, and Arnold's got the most assists, as well as Baku. If you think, right, Baku, 10 assists, how much is his contract left? 2029, and he's still only worth £2 to £6 million. It's a bug. I'm telling you, it's a bug, because he's now in his prime at 27. He should be worth the most that he's ever been worth. Let's have a look then. Other competitions. We've got European competition that we should be going quite far in, and the DFB Pokal, my favourite trophy. Oh, runners-up. Runners-up of the Europa Conference League. First round by Greuther Fürth, the DFB Pokal. That is not our competition, is it? We'll take a look at the...
Get into the final then.
Yeah, Schalke did win that. They beat Hoffenheim in the final there. First club outside of the Big Three to do that for a while.
Who beat us in the final then?
Who beat us in the UEFA Conference League? It was... Oh, Man United. Well... What can I say? What do you expect? Let's take a look at the result then. Let's see who really unfortunate. And it was played at Man City Stadium. The City of Manchester Stadium. It was Anthony. God, don't you just hate Anthony? God, so annoying, isn't it? And Jadon Sancho, who I don't think will ever get a game for Man United again at this point.
No.
Because he's not got... Well, he's not Garnacho, is he? Garnacho just seems to be the boy at the minute. Kevin Shea got a goal for us on the 8th there, but it was just a consolation, unfortunately. I want to see these stages, though. Did we play anybody else big on the way through? So we didn't play in the knockout playoffs, so that's good. So we must have gone through the top 8. We then played AGF. Quarterfinal, CSKA 1948 from Bulgaria. I think we played them in the other part as well. Trabzonspor is who we played and beat in the semi-final.
We didn't play anybody big right through the...
No, right through the Trabzonspor, who's probably the best team in Turkey.
Anybody big, really, did we?
No, not really. That's unfortunate then. Okay, goals-wise, that's better. That's so much better. Yeah. That's probably because we got quite far in the cup competition.
5 players in double figures. That's a lot better.
Yeah, we did obviously get to a final in a cup competition, so that's going to add on the amount of games that we've played, the amount of goals. But the fact it's spread across more than just one player. Kevin Shea getting the most as well, and he's obviously been playing up front or in the hole, so he's played 38 games there, probably as a striker. But that is impressive. 23 goals and 23 assists, and 12 goals from Maximilian Arnold. Very good. And Riddle Baku got 16 assists, a very good average rating, and that's all he's worth. Shocking. There's definitely a bug there. Okay, so transfer-wise, we've been given £50 million next season.
How can they go down from 19 million to 50 million and we're in the Champions League?
I know. That's one player, really, isn't it? If you think if we've got to improve our squad, that's one player. And there's something that I find really difficult for years on Football Manager, and that's selling players. I feel like you can only really sell players if they are wanted, and you never really get good deals for them unless they are the elite. And I think that's another thing that I've had a problem with on Football Manager. And the fact that, right back there, Riddle Baku, one of our best players last season, I'm not going to accept bids for £2.5 million.
You'd be silly to do it, wouldn't you?
Exactly. So it feels like it's more difficult now than ever to sign and do a transfer window when you're struggling to sign players and struggling to sell players. So anyway, let's be in the Debbie Downer. We'll go forward to season 4 or 5 and we'll see how we get on. Now, as I said, it's probably only good enough for one signing. So I went all out on that one signing.
Any day of the week.
Darwin Núñez.
What a player he's proven to be already in the Premiership, I think.
Yeah, starting to find his feet, isn't he? Starting to find his feet. I remember when he was missing a few chances and everyone was going, but they could have just got Gabby Jesus.
I mean, they calmed him down as well with his temperament, didn't they? I think he got sent off in the first game.
Yeah, but mate, didn't he? Just went over and nutted
So I think they just sort of took him to one side, calmed him down, and I must admit, every time I've watched him now, you don't see no retaliation from him at all now. He just gets on with the job and he's doing the job well.
He's learned his lesson, I see a very fiery, like a Wayne Rooney type of player there, but he has the physique of the modern striker that you need. He is, I think he's got the record of the fastest player in the Premier League at the minute.
Is he?
Yeah, he even beat Carl Walker's thing, and you think he's 6'2" and he can jump as well. He's a quality player, and we've picked him up here for Wolfsburg. He was transfer listed from Liverpool, and you can see he has not played a lot of games since he joined there. That first season after £69 million move was his most, and that was only one start with 17 substitute appearances, and he got 5 goals. It's just gone downhill since then, and last season he played one game, he started that game, he scored a penalty, and that was it. But for us, he's got 6 in 3 with 3 assists.
6 in 3.
with 3 assists, and he's got a 9 average
So
rating.
in 3 games, we've scored at least 9 goals because he scored 6 of them.
Oh, yes.
And assisted another 3.
Oh, yes. So he's already on track to beat what he did in his record Benfica season before Liverpool signed him and tried to ruin his career. So Darwin, welcome to the club, my friend. We'll treat you nicely here. Just don't score that many in the World Cup. That'll be great. Okay, let's take a look then at the tactic. Are we going to stick with what we had? We are, because why wouldn't we change it? We've got Champions League football and becoming a final.
Yeah.
So we're going to stick with that. Let's take a look though at pick without restriction, our best 11. We can see there. Target forward, Nunez is what I'm playing in.
Gotta be.
Yep, he's very good at that. We've got Kudus and Shade alongside him, Svanberg, Kone and Arnold there. Vindal left back, Lacroix, Tadibo, Baku and Casteels, who's been a very good goalkeeper, by the way, for us for the last few years. Age 33 now, the Belgium international. So, we've got a very good bench now as well. I look at that bench and I think any one of those players has been a first-team player for us at some point, which is great. Okay, let's take a look at the schedule then. How have we got on? It's 3 wins from 3.
Wow.
We've got double figures in the 12-1 victory here, where Darwin picked up 4 goals. So that might be where he's kind of inflated his numbers. Actually, to be fair, that doesn't count at the league. So the league games, he's got 2 hat-tricks. 2 hat-tricks, one against Cologne, one against Union Berlin. That's not bad at all, is it?
Hell of a start, isn't it?
Yeah. Speaking of Union Berlin, by the way, if you haven't done so already, last week I started a brand new series with Union Berlin as we start our new mini-series stuff where every episode is one full season in the different style to what me and Dad do here. Very fast pace. So if you like that kind of thing, you haven't checked it out, I'll leave it at the end of the video. It's really good. There's a little funny clips and stuff like that. Good entertaining stuff. Make sure you go check it out. Then it was a 1-0 win against Schalke, who managed to survive again in the Bundesliga. Kevin Shade in the 19th minute.
Just going to test you now.
Okay, I love a good test.
Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
2010.
Right.
Their only English manager.
Okay.
Who was it?
2010. English?
Yeah.
It wasn't Roy because he would have been at Fulham, I think. I'm going to say... Oh, to be honest, I have no clue. I have no,
All right,
no idea.
I'll give you another clue then. He's an ex-England manager.
McLaren.
Yeah, you got it. Steve
McLaren.
McLaren.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants Steve McLaren on their staff? I mean, come on. Does anybody want Steve McLaren on their staff at this present moment? No, you would not. I wouldn't have him as manager of anybody on you. I mean, where's he now?
Great coach.
Where is he now?
Great coach. Oh, he's at the Mighty Reds, isn't he?
Eric
Ten Hag. Do you know what's funny about that, though, is Ten Hag used to be his assistant.
He did, yeah.
Yeah,
I
at
remember you
FC20,
saying that.
where he went after Wolfsburg. Because then he obviously won the league with Twente.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a genius. I mean, you think Eric Ten Hag's for,
They
I'm going to
didn't
sign him.
like him. They got rid of him quite quick.
Well, Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
He did do very well there.
Yeah,
but then when he went to Twente, obviously won the league,
Yeah.
did phenomenal stuff, tried speaking Dutch, made a twat out of
I
himself.
think he's all right when he goes to somewhere where it rains because he likes to put a
He
brolly
does
up,
like a
doesn't
big brolly, doesn't he? What? I mean, we've had some terrible England managers, but he is definitely up there as the worst. Second worst behind Gareth Southgate, unless he brings it home.
Ooh, that's a big statement. I mean, he has got us to a final, hasn't he?
He has, but I think Mum
very
could take him to a final with the team that we had.
He's a very defensive manager.
I just don't. And I disagree with some of the picks he made.
Yeah.
There's some people who are sitting at home who have played a lot of games.
On our
Good
team at
lord.
home, can we really?
Yeah.
And who we've picked and who they've left out. And
Absolutely. But I am excited for the World Cup.
Yeah.
I've got to a
I'm
point
really
now.
looking forward to it now.
We're close enough, and I don't know whether it's just because we've got no Premier League football, so I'm like, I am excited now.
I think
But
this is one of the first times I'm going to watch a World Cup, and I'm not expecting England to do very well. Every other time we've gone into a tournament, I've always said, yeah, we're going to do it. And I think this is what we've been talking about. Gareth Southgate's done to us now with the very defensive way he plays. We've got such an attack inside.
Yeah.
But you just know he's going to sit back, let anybody come at us, and we'll try and beat you on the break.
Yeah.
As long as he gets a 0-0, he seems to be happy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to enjoy this World Cup with not great expectations of England.
I enjoy watching the other teams.
Yeah.
Let us know who you think is going to win the World Cup. Obviously, this comes out on the Monday when England are playing as well.
Their first game.
So I might have to change. You might be watching this at a different time, so I might have to decide that. Okay, so that's how we have done so far in the Bundesliga. Champions League games.
Good start.
We've got Feyenoord, Sporting, Sevilla, Real Madrid.
Oh, Real Madrid.
Manchester United.
Easy game.
Nantes. Wow.
One of my favourite French teams.
Yeah, they've managed to get themselves in the Champions League. Chelsea and Olympique Marseille. not bad. There's a few teams obviously there we're going to struggle against, and a few teams we'd like to think we could beat, and maybe we will be. So let's simulate his 4th season, see how we get on, because currently we're sat top of the league, because why wouldn't we be? We've absolutely destroyed 3 teams. Yeah, let's have a look. Okay, we're back where we expected to be. Well, where we finished last season, actually. Down in 3rd place.
We come 3rd place by a long way as well, didn't we?
Consistency. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we're joint 3rd there, Hertha Berlin, but yeah.
It was 11 points
7 points. Oh, God, yeah. 7 points above 5th place. Frankfurt, who also have qualified for the Champions League there. So that means either a German team has won the Champions League or Frankfurt has won the Europa League. It definitely can't be Bayern Munich because they finished in 9th.
And they've got nothing to play for next season.
9th place. I mean, I know they haven't won the league yet in this, but 9th place. But what is happening to Bayern Munich? That's incredible.
Lewandowski, that's what happened to Bayern Munich.
That is insane. So, I mean, what I'll do...
they're scoring for fun at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, it goes to show they can get it wrong as well, don't
That is hilarious. If they manage to recover in the 5th season, what I'll do is I'll also put the 4th season on the Patreon save game files. So if you want to take over Bayern and do a rebuild of Bayern in 9th place, then you can do so because they're sat down there. They've got Marco Rose as their manager. They still got Kimmich. They've got some incredible players still, and yet they're down in 9th. That's absolutely, it's really good. One of my favourite. But they still got like Goretzka. They've got Alphonso Davies, De Ligt. Manuel Neuer, age 40, is still there and still good. They've got an incredible team, and yet they're down in 9th. Okay, fair enough. Let's take a look at other competitions then. Is it us who have won the Champions League? No.
Look who we got knocked out of by.
Quarterfinals by Leipzig, who are champions, and quarterfinals by Cologne. We'll take a look at the DFB Pokal first.
When you get knocked out by a team in your own country, though.
I know. So Leipzig have done a double here. Yeah. If they have won the Champions League, that's a treble.
Ooh.
Have they done it? It must be a German team. Oh, Man City.
Man City finally beat Real Madrid. So Real Madrid got to the final again.
Again, yeah.
4 finals in a row.
Leipzig won it last year.
Ooh.
Wow.
We didn't look it up,
No, we didn't. Leipzig have done so well in this. This is phenomenal stuff. I thought it would be difficult to over. They got a free job. Well, it's time to leave Wolfsburg. It was just a 4-year rebuild that we decided to do with a 5th in a different club. Fair enough, but they've done incredibly well. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at our squad then. Who's been scoring the goals? We've got 3 players above 20. We like that. Darwin Nunez, no surprise, was our top scorer, 28. Kevin Shea got 26, and Mohamed Kudus got 22. Good stuff. And we've got a few players who got double figures in the assists as well, including Maximiliano Arnold, who got 19. Very good stuff. And Darwin Nunez got 12 as well. So he's not even being too greedy either with the ball.
No.
He's supplying others. Very good stuff. Now, we have been given 75 million. That's a little bit better than last year for the following and 5th final season. So let's take a look. Okay, now I've really gone for it in this summer because we've picked up 2 free transfers. One was Mark Gerhai from Crystal Palace, who I think he's been really good so far for Crystal Palace. He's grown quite nicely in this game too. Got some fantastic mental attributes here, and he's still only 26 years of age. 27 caps now for England, so he's probably their starting centre-back. Doesn't surprise me because I think that's maybe one of the positions that England are weakest in. I'm glad he's gone with the name Mark though.
Dyer.
And Maguire.
What more can you want?
I'm glad he went with Mark Gerhai because imagine trying to pronounce that.
Oh, yeah.
So thank you, Mark, for shortening your name. We also picked up Pedro Gonçalves for a free transfer, which I think is a phenomenal sign. I know we've already got Kudus, but when Pedro Gonçalves comes up as a free, you just have to say yes and bring him in. And he's only an 84 grand a week player for wages, but his transfer value is a free transfer, 76 to 83 million. No brainer.
Yeah.
So that's good as well. We then picked up a backup. This is funny because we spent 41 million, which is our record transfer, and he is our backup right back because Riddle Baku's still better, and Riddle Baku's value is still only about £4 million. And I'll show you in a sec. We've got some horrendous offers, but we brought in Thierry Rendo Correa, and the final signing, Dennis Seaman, and he's called Seaman, and he's a goalkeeper.
Yay.
But he's German. 20 years of age, very good goalkeeper as well. I think he's going to become our number 1. He has fantastic positioning. He has fantastic leadership.
Future captain?
Yeah, 6'4", 20 years of age. An unbelievable goalkeeper. He just needs to work on his handling, and he's there because he already has great reflexes, good at rushing out, good kicking, good passing, great vision. He's a ball player. He's a ball-playing goalkeeper. He just needs to work on his handling, and he's going to be one of the world's best, I think. £8.75 million. That is a steal. He went to LA Galaxy. He played quite a lot of games there. They got for quite cheap. We got him even cheaper because of a release clause. I am going to show you Riddle Baku, 28 years of age now. He is still valued at 1.9 to £4 million, and he is our starting right back. And we're rejecting bids that are coming in from Chelsea for 2.5, 3.1. And it's making him unhappy. It's such an annoying thing that's coming in. Even Lacroix, who we're playing quite a lot, is only valued at 11 million, and he's one of the league's best centre-backs. It's very frustrating. Thankfully, though, Darwin Nunez has got like £88 million bids. We're rejecting them all. Those are all deadline day bids. So tactically then, we are sticking with our diamond because we did very well last season. And this would be our best 11. So Kudus now starts up top with Gonçalves coming in that position there. Nunez, of course, keeps his position. We've got a few different changes at the back, including Lacroix maybe going into the ball-winning midfielder role. I wouldn't play that personally, but I can understand why our assistant manager would pick that as a starting 11. So let's take a look schedule-wise. It's been a little bit hit and miss. We had our standard 6-0 win. We had a big win there against Stuttgart, where Mark Gerhardt decided to get on the score sheet for the wrong club on his debut. But then we played both Bayern and Dortmund.
Lost against both of them.
Yeah, and it's just annoying that we played them straight away, isn't it? And back-to-back as well is always a bit frustrating. You'd like to be a bit of a winning streak before you play them. 3-0 against Bayern Munich. We're obviously bouncing back after their bad year in the Bundesliga. And then Dortmund 4-1, who have been there or thereabouts in the league as well. And we had a player sent off as well there. Champions League games. Arsenal. Club Brugge, Benfica, PSV, Salzburg, and Hapoel Beersheva. Chelsea and PSG. If you look at just those, you think, oh, that's good. And then you got to play Chelsea and PSG as your last two to try and get into that final 8. That's going to be tricky. But I like to think we can still do it.
I think we do it.
Yeah, I think we'll win enough games here to get there eventually. I think Arsenal might be our only tricky one that we might not win. Okay, so we'll simulate this 5th and final season, see how we go. Final season, 3rd place again. We're close though. We're very close. Yeah. And Bayern Munich won it on the very last day of the season. Ooh. So that is going to be heartbreak for Leipzig. And they've done that in the past as well. Oh, it was us who cost them.
Oh, what a shame.
Oh, I don't feel bad now. We beat Leipzig 5-1 on the final day of the season.
To stop them from winning the league.
Stop them from winning the league.
I mean, you can imagine what's happened there. We've probably gone 2-1 up or something like that. Did we score late? Were all our late goals?
We can have a look. Did
they just push forward and we just took them on the break?
I'll go Leipzig's fixtures so I don't reveal anything else that might be happening. Who knows? But if we take a look, the final game of the season, oh my god! I've already ruined it, but there we go. We'll take a look. 5-1 victory there. We scored in the 2nd minute. Then we went 2-0 up. Then they scored to make it 2-1. And then we continued and got more. But did you see what I seen, Dad? Or is it still going to be a surprise for you?
No, I didn't see it.
You didn't? Okay, I'm going to go straight to it then. We are the winners of the DFB Pokal!
I didn't crush that. I thought we were going to lose everything.
No, we win the DFB Pokal, and it was a sucker punch. Leipzig must hate us because we beat them in that final as well. That's great, isn't it?
Yes.
We finally win my favourite trophy. We win a trophy in this rebuild.
That's what I was worried about. We didn't win anything.
And it's my favourite trophy on the final game of the season, beating Leipzig, who
we went through the group stages and we got into the Champions League.
We did. Quarter-final by Man United as well. Oh no, we beat them 3-0 in one leg and lost 4-0 in the other. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it?
Win your own games, you've got a chance, haven't you?
Yeah.
When you go away and lose 4-0.
Leipzig knocked out Chelsea there. To tell you what, they're unbelievable this year, aren't they? Well, we went through as a top 8 because we didn't play in the knockout playoff. Man United did there. Then we beat Arsenal, who we already placed in the group stage. Quarter-final was when we were eliminated by Manchester United. The semi-final was Real Madrid and City in the final. Played at Old Trafford. Oh, that'd be horrible, wouldn't it? Man City winning the Champions League at Old Trafford. Oh, that'd be devastating. Let's ignore that. Anyway, Goals. Dembele got the most goals. Where did he come from? He sat on the bench all that time.
Yeah.
24 goals. Then Nunez with 20. Kevin Shade with 14. Kudus with 13 there. Assist-wise, 14. That's lower.
Yeah.
Goals and assists is lower. Considering that we got to another cup final and quite far in the Champions League.
Yeah.
That is actually lower.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, especially when we're seeing results like a 5-1 at the end of the season there. But there we go. Right, so the Patreon members, you've got £65 million to spend next season. What is the target, Dad?
Well, I was going to say win something, but we just won the cup. So
Yeah.
I'm going to change that now. We come third was our best position in the league. Mm-hmm. You've got to beat that.
Yeah.
Whether it's second or first, you've just got to beat that. I'm not going to say anything about the European competitions because I don't think we've got a strong enough squad to go on and win unless you get dropped into the Europa League and take it from there. But the challenge would be second or first in the league.
Yeah, so that's for you Patreon members on the £5 tier. You got 5 years to do that, but I'll also chuck in the Bayern Munich the season for end of season 4. So you got Bayern Munich there finishing in 9th place. If you want to try and replicate what they've just done of winning the league from 9th position, because that is actually quite impressive to be fair. Yeah. I know it's Bayern Munich, but still that is still quite impressive. But one last thing, of course, at the Volkswagen Arena.
What's the food like?
What's the food like? Does it taste like it's been hardly made by the factory workers of Volkswagen? What is there? Is it Frankfurters? Let us know down in the comment section if you've ever been to the Volkswagen Arena and been lucky enough to embrace a game in Germany that me and Dad would love to do at some point.
We'd love to go there, won't we?
Absolutely. So we've doubled our cup tally anyway. I'm happy with that. Successful rebuild. Thank you very much. Let us know in the comments if you have any other suggestions and put some stories down there as well. And we'll see you next Monday for another rebuild. And check out the Union Berlin episode. It's up on the screen right now. What?
Come on, England!
Check out the Union Berlin video. It's up on the screen right now. See you soon. Bye-bye.